Make a mess of my car, get messy yourself. I was on my way home after a very long day working at the hospital. As much as I would have rather just kept driving, the gas light blazing away on my dash told me to stop being lazy and just fill the tank. After hopping off the highway, I head for the small station I frequently use. It only has 2 pumps, both sides, so 4 spots. Even though it has great prices, I rarely have to wait more than a car or 2 for an open spot. Other than the station, the road is pretty much empty nearby. The station was on my side of the road, so I turned on my right-hand directional. As I begin to turn the wheel into the station, this lunatic in a Mercedes, coming from the other direction, sliced through the out lane and inches across my front bumper to beat me into the parking lot. I slammed on my brakes, sending my gym bag and the stack of folders shooting off the passenger seat into jumbled mess on the floor. I am not a big swearer, but that had me cussing like a sailor. As I pulled in, I noticed a police car in a parking spot outside the building that houses the cashier in the tiny convenience store. My hopes rose, as I prayed the officer saw the crazy lady stunt, and I was about to witness instant karma. No such luck. Sigh. She pulled to one side of the pumps. I pulled to the other. I got out, swiped my card, and started the gas flowing. Then, clear as a bell, I hear the snottiest sounding voice issuing from the Mercedes. This is unbelievable. I was clearly here first, but this idiot is filling up the other car first. No. He hasn't even started me yet. I swear these people are stupid as crap out here. Hold on, Shelley. I have to deal with this moron, or I will be here all day. Now the dreaded excuse me is aimed right at me. You know you don't need to wait for the tank to be full before you start another car? Now come here and take this. She said, waggling a credit card at me. If I am late because of you, I will be calling your boss. And just so you know, it is very rude to service customers out of order. I was here ahead of that guy. I looked down and sure enough she has a New Jersey license plate. In NJ, you don't pump your own gas, an attendant does it for you. My state may have a few full service stations left, but honestly I haven't seen one in ages. Here you pump for yourself. If she had gotten out of her car, she would have seen I was that guy, but the pump blocked her line of sight. I considered an I don't work here lady style response, but the primped up entitled expression on this self-absorbed view required more from me. She stared harder at me, raising her brows and waggled the card even more emphatically, before I knew what to do. I let go of my pump, stepped closer and took the card from her manicured fingers. As she sneered at me, I looked her right in the eyes and snapped my hand downward, flinging her card straight into the trash barrel beside the pump. Someone must have thrown a slushie or milkshake in there, because the card made an awesome splat sound when it hit the bottom. The harpy shrill screech that ensued made the thought of sorting out all the files on the floor of my car almost worth it. It could have stopped there and I would have happily driven away with my half-full tank, but it was not over yet. She was screaming obscenities at me, as I turned away, broiling out the Mercedes in her designer outfit, completely losing her mind. That was when the officer came dashing out of the store. "Excuse me, miss, are you all right? What is going on?" "This man assaulted me, and stole my card. He threw it in there," she says, stabbing a 3-inch long nail at the barrel. "Is that correct, sir?" "Barely." She insisted, and I mean insisted, I take her card. Since I am under no obligation to provide her service with the card, nor did I want it, I disposed of it in the most expedient manner available to me. I replied, gesturing at the wonderful trash receptacle myself. "That was a pretty petty thing too. I think you should get it for her," the officer decreed. The NJB was beaming with smug malice at that. "I will under one condition. You detain us both and go look at the store's parking lot camera. Once you see how we entered the lot, you can decide who goes dumpster diving." He raised a brow at me, but says fine. He takes our licenses and tells us to both to wait there. She is a bit perplexed at first, but her natural entitlement must have convinced her, she has to be in the right. It is not long before she began to hiss a handful of pretty vile threats at me. I ignored her and finished filling my tank. My passive smiling confidence must have unnerved her eventually. She crept back into the driver's seat and began talking about lawyers with Shelley. About 20 minutes later, the officer returned. He handed me back my license and told me I'm free to go. Before New Jersey can get a word out, he very sternly rounds on her and said, "Registration, ma'am." That made cleaning up her mess totally worth it. I guess I'm the Pokemon master now? My first post. From phone. But figured y'all might get a kick out of this, so here we go. This happened back when I was a kid. I, 16F, and my brother, 13M, have been crazy into Pokemon since it came out. We basically grew up with it. Back then, Toys R Us used to host official Nintendo-sponsored Pokemon League events each Saturday morning from 9 a.m. to noon, and we always went. My brother and I even started showing up early to help the organizer, a designated Toys R Us employee, in setting up. Let's call him Mario. It was easy: go into the back employee-only room, grab tables, chairs, pens, promo cards to pass out, badges to award, and new badge books for the newcomers. Now, Mario didn't know crap about Pokemon, but my brother and I were super used to the league, from when we attended at card shops, so we let him know what was what when he didn't know what to do. He quickly just pushed more and more of the tasks onto me. FYI, I was happy to take on the duties. Pretty soon, my brother and I were kind of running the event, and he'd disappear for most of the 3 hours. No one seemed to notice or care though, since I was doing a great job and all the kids were having a great time. Also, I was darn near unbeatable, and in the world of card games, that makes you the boss. That's just how it works. LOL. My brother and I noticed that Mario hadn't shown up in like 3 weeks. Not that we really cared. We just went into the back room by ourselves, carried the tables and chairs out, passed out the promo card to each attendee, stamped their badge books, presided over matches, gave awards, etc. Then, at noon, cleaned up, took the tables and chairs back, neatly stacked and hung around until our mom came to pick us up. So, on the 3rd week after noticing that Mario hadn't shown up, another employee, let's call him Rex, finds my brother and me, as we're putting stuff away, and asks, "Are you the ones that have been running the Pokemon thing the last few weeks?" Yes, we answer, and you can visibly see a look of oh crap on his face. Like he wasn't sure what to do now. So he stands there thinking for a bit and then asks, "How old are you?" 15, I answer. "Okay, don't go anywhere." He leaves and comes back and gets basic info from me, like name, address, etc. Bless my naive little heart, I answer everything. Then we leave. Next Saturday, business as usual. The following Saturday, Rex shows up after we get done putting away all the stuff, and hands me an envelope. Inside is a paycheck for like $130. It was back pay for all the hours I had worked. Turns out, Rex was the manager, and he'd been getting so many compliments from the parents about their employee that runs the Pokemon League that he'd been trying to find that employee for weeks, but all his employees kept saying, "It's not me." Apparently, it was a complete mystery to everyone how the tables and chairs were being put out and being put back, and who was actually running the event. Remember, my brother and I were just another pair of kids in a crowd of 25 plus kids ages 6 to 30, of random players. As far as the Toys R Us staff was concerned, it was a ghost running the events. And that's how I accidentally got my first job, because parents just assumed I worked there and the manager ran with it, LOL. Oh, as for Mario, I never found out what happened to him, but I never saw him again. And also, to this day, 38, I still have it in my resume that my first job was as a Pokemon master. Strange thing is, not a single employer has ever questioned it, and I've gotten some pretty high LVL jobs, so. Shrugs. No ma'am, checking my phone doesn't mean I work here. In these trying times, many people got into ordering their groceries online and having them delivered, which is great if you can afford that. Some grocery stores allow for people to go this through a third-party company, and some offer the service themselves. So I'm shopping in one of those that allows for both, and have been using my phone to keep looking at a list my partner sent me of things she wants, plus my own list of things we needed, as well as chatting with friends, because, why not? I don't remember the aisle, but I'm looking around at the shelves for a specific thing, and a woman walks right up to me, too close and with her mask not covering her nose, and demands I tell her where something is. I'm not paying attention to her, so I don't remember what she asked for, and even if I did know, her tone and demeanor would have put me off helping anyway, but I tell her I don't work for the store. She gets huffy and says something about how just because I'm employed to shop for other people doesn't mean I cannot help her. So I repeat, I don't work for the store, I'm just shopping for myself, and she counters that me checking my phone all the time is how she knows I work for the store. I triple down, repeat myself a final time, and add that checking my phone is not enough to assume someone works for the store, and to leave me alone before walking away. Later, when I was in checkout, I heard her talking loudly to a store employee who said something about how all store workers who do shopping for online orders wear their store uniform and name badge when working, which means if I was shopping for someone, it was for a third-party company, and thus I wasn't required to help her. Sure, I didn't get fired or yelled at, nor had the manager involved or anything, but it was just a bit surreal to have my first "I don't work here lady" moment to be over my phone used while shopping. Edit: to be clear, she didn't yell at me or anything, but the tone was demanding, like the kind of person who expects everyone they talk to will do what they say. This also happened like a week ago, and I was talking to a friend who suggested I post it here.